What'd you do today?
Stuff.
What's that nice stuff?
Well, me and Sharon played a game in the backyard.
You did.
And we had a picnic down by the river.
That sounds good. What else?
Oh, Mom, you should have seen this man came along on this beautiful gray horse.
Really? What
Isn't
kind?
he pretty?
Beautiful. The mare, gelding? What?
I think it was a gelding. Mm-hmm. It was gray. Oh, it was so beautiful. And the guy let me ride it all around and everything.
Yes, you were. Oh, that's about half an hour.
So nice.
This is Film Sack. Oh, sure.
Hello and welcome to Film Sack. This is Film Sack, mining the very depths of film entertainment for all mankind. This is Sunday, October 29th, and this is Film Sack. Did I already say that? I did. Welcome to the show. My name is Scott Johnson. Oh, this is episode 625. That's important. My name is Scott Johnson, joined today by Brian. He prefers to be called Captain Howdy Dunaway.
Oh, howdy. Oh, hi.
Hi.
This week on The Film Sack, we call in an exorcist when HBO Max gets possessed by a demon and starts spitting up the thickest pea soup you can imagine and asking us to do filthy things to it with our religious items. No, that is not how we use that. No, gross. The power of 1973 gas crisis compels you. The power of the 1973 gas crisis compels you. An exorcist? How about a dermatologist? Your skin has gone from missed a few nights sleep to, oh my God, stop picking at those scabs of Satan, or your skin is going to straight to hell. Oh, hi, did I mention gross? Anywho, I knew it. I knew it. Of course, this is how we all die. This is it. Some old white guy in the desert poking around in the dirt with a stick until he uncovers some shit that was buried long ago for reasons, which then starts a holy war with a demon, and now some little rich girl in Georgetown has the heebies and the jeebies and is for sure not getting her deposit back. But, that's how it is. Now take your shaky pills with a shot of brown liquor and get on with it already. Also, someone should really fix those steps in the alley before someone gets hurt. Too late. Randy, you're going to die up there. Now I pee on your rug. Mommy?
Oh my gosh.
Where am I?
It's perfect. Well done. Where am I, Mommy? Also with us, Randy, at age 44, look as old as Max von Sydow. You will not, Jordan.
Aloha, Scott. Brian. Thank you for coming to the priest meeting. As you know, we meet in huge, ornate places, and we talk about mundane things. Batter up. On this week's agenda, see, a movie director died a couple blocks over, and oh look, Father John was nominated for MVP of the DC area Jesuit softball league for the 61st straight year. That's great, Father John. Congrats. Anyway, the movie director who died was probably killed by a demon-possessed girl. Any takers? Should be a pretty straightforward pitcher's duel. But we can bring in some guy from Iraq/Africa/Woodstock to pinch hit for you. Why the softball references? I don't know. What I do know is that this exorcism is going to be an easy double play if you follow these rules. Number one, don't tell scientists what you know. They might be able to run some experiments and figure out some better methods for exorcising demons, and we don't want that, I guess. Number two, bring lots of extra clothes. Pack a full suitcase and take it with you. Just because we haven't done one of these in 300 years doesn't mean we want to wash the projectile vomit off our collars in the sink and then put on a wet collar. Gross. Number three, drink and smoke, guys. Seriously. Turns out those aren't vices. Or, no, wait. They're vices, but they aren't sins. And it doesn't matter anyway because we're all going to be killed by the devil. Mazel tov.
Right. To all of you.
Yeah, these priests were chill, man. It's like, let's do some drugs. Also with us, and finally, Brian, the scariest part of this movie is the wallpaper in that girl's room Ibit.
Oh, it sure is. All right, let me go ahead and get the band ready here. All right, standard 8-beat blues thing here. Watch me on the turns and see if you can keep up. Okay, here we go. one laugh, make another one sting. Makes me angry enough to split a door. Take a little girl, make her pee on the floor. I was perfectly happy in my home in Iraq. Dug up my idol and it brought me back. Just when I thought I would be ignored, dug through the attic, pulled out a Ouija board. You don't need crosses, don't need grace, don't need no holy water thrown in my face. Just need 6 words and a couple of priests, and it might just make me leave. They say possessive kids ain't fair, yeah, but I don't care. It's what I'm meant to do, as sure as I'm Pazuzu. And after a little pea soup I will spew. The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you. Can you feel it?
Oh, man.
I guess you guys aren't ready for that yet, but your kids are
your kids are gonna love it. Your kids are gonna love it.
Oh, I loved how you bookended your whole thing with
That was great.
decoration from Back to the Future.
That was
Love it.
amazing.
Right.
That was great. Now I can associate that song with something other than Back to the Future. So it's good.
Good.
As you may have noticed, we're talking about things that seem strangely connected to the film The Exorcist from 1973. And you would be right. Let's listen to
50
fake
years.
Scott Fletcher explain.
The Exorcist! When a young girl is possessed by a mysterious entity, her mother seeks the help of 2 Catholic priests to save her life. Pea soup to the face, eye holes.
No idea what happened at the end there.
I don't know, but I love it. And I'm starting to forget how Fletcher sounds for
Yeah,
real.
I know,
So
I know.
We need some Fletch.
We need some real
Do
raw
we,
Fletcher.
Fletch.
Do we need to bring in a couple priests to resurrect Fletcher? Is that how that happens? Exorcise this demon,
Yeah.
this AI demon from Fletcher?
Maybe these secret holy words right here. That'll work. That'll get him here. Yeah, so
He's
yes,
walking on something hot or Legos on the floor or something.
that's exactly right. Yeah, we're looking at the 50-year anniversary of this movie.
Yeah, 50-year
like
anniversary
Randy
this
said,
year.
50 year?
The Christmas 1973 film, The Exorcist.
Oh my gosh, it came out during Christmas time, like the holiday.
Yeah, day after, December 26th,
Oh, my
1973.
Okay, it's like we've done enough the holy religious Christ stuff. Let's do this now. All right.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, it's been a long time coming for this show, though. I feel like sitting on The Exorcist for years, and part of it, I think,
I
was
feel like I'm still on Exorcist every day. It's burning.
yeah, it burns. It burns. Here's the thing, and I'm glad you said that, because this is a movie for a lot of people, not just a couple of us or all of us, even maybe, I don't know, but for a lot of people, it was like, I don't want to see that again, or I don't want to see that at all, or whatever feelings it evoked for people growing up. For me anyway, I can only speak for me. It terrified the shit out of me. Did not have any interest in seeing
I was
this.
shocked when I learned this past week that The Exorcist was rated R because it was trying to avoid an X because they were trying to get this thing to be able to make some money. And there was nothing really at the time that stopped kids from going to see this. There was really no R rating necessarily that would keep kids from being able to go. So it must have been a much more common experience than I thought. I saw it at the drive-in when I was about 5 or 6. My mom thought I was asleep in the back seat. So she didn't bring me to intentionally scar me for life, but I did wake up just in time for the last 20 minutes, which is where the really good stuff happens. You know?
Yeah.
This movie really is the last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an archaeological movie, and then it's a priest with a crisis of faith movie, and then by the way, we're gonna have an exorcism.
Yeah. It's a very slow burn, for sure. A slow burn from the beginning until just about the last 20 minutes. Well, those 20 minutes are really damaging if you're young. When I was, I think I saw it when I was 12, and it was on a VHS tape or something at a friend's house. And I remember just thinking, well, I'm never going to sleep again. This is the end of my life. This is the worst thing I've ever done to myself. I can't believe I watched this. And it has been that long since I watched it again because I never could poke in there again.
Yeah.
So I've been looking forward to this for like catharsis reasons, and we'll get to whether that worked for anyone or not today, eventually here in our discussion.
I want you to know this film has by far the most trivia we've ever seen on FilmSack.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt
like
it.
by so far, it's like 10 times more trivia than we've ever seen.
I never, and usually I'm really good about looking at that after the movie, and for whatever reason, I never read the trivia on this.
Good news, you can just go to the trivia page and click around, and you will guaranteed come up with something that the other three of us won't find.
Yeah,
it's
there's a
that
lot.
big.
It's really
Wow.
huge. Yeah, there's tons of it. I mean, I only pulled out like 5 of these, but there was so much I kind of got overwhelmed. But one of the ones that jumped out at me feels like it needs a little bit of this. Scrutiny. It says on the first day of rehearsing the exorcism sequence, Linda Blair's delivery of her foul-mouthed dialogue so disturbed the gentlemanly Max von Sydow that he actually forgot his lines. Come on.
I actually that feels believable. That feels believable. That was because I am
but that was-
traumatized
But
by Linda Blair.
Linda Blair didn't say it though, right? That was the woman who did
That's
the
what I thought, too.
voiceover for the demon.
Yeah,
that's
earlier
what I
when
thought,
she
too.
does cuss and she's still in kid form, he's not there. In fact,
But that's rehearsal, right?
he
You
was
said it
almost chick in the
rehearsal that
bucket in this movie because my memory as a kid was Max von Sydow was in the damn whole thing. He's barely in this.
The last 20 minutes or so, when he shows up on scene, when he shows up at the house, that is the cover art you get for this movie.
Yeah,
That's when the shit really hits the fan,
well,
and
and
that's all I remember.
yeah.
And he makes the title of the movie weird because really it could have just been a movie about our Jason Miller exorcist, and he is the entire thing. He is the exorcist.
Right.
Karis.
Turns out he hasn't ever done one. he's a bit wet
no one
behind
has
the ears.
really.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And so the movie
Father
is,
Marin.
the movie's title means it's about the Max von Sydow character, which is kind of, I don't know, it's a little bit of a
do you feel
letdown
like,
for me.
Do you feel like it should have been called The Exorcists with an S, or
The Exorcist.
The Exorcism, or the
Exorcism.
With the benefit
The
of
haunting of
hindsight, 50
Reagan.
years later, like we can come up with all kinds of better
Sure,
names
sure.
because it's it's about a possession, right? It could have been called
Yeah.
Possession.
Yeah,
Or possession.
Well, I didn't read the book, which this is based on, and so I have a feeling that we get much further into Father Marin's story. I don't know this. I just
Yeah,
have
I'd
a
be curious.
feeling
Yeah.
I'd be
that's
curious
probably
to
where
see that
it's at.
too.
It
Yeah.
feels like it would have
But
more
watch
with him and more of his backstory because this gave you
But
none.
watch
It
him
was
chase
just
them.
like it was a Von Sydow sandwich. Here he is at the beginning.
Yeah.
He's doing something weird in Iraq. We don't really know until we see a demon with a penis, and then we're like, oh, scary. And then later they got he shows up so late. I really was shocked by that because in my memory, my kid memory, he's there from moment one and the entire movie's in that bedroom and it's only, it's pea soup and forward, really.
It goes to show you that 20 minutes is really all a 5-year-old can really consume as a movie. It's like, okay, that's all I really need.
Yeah. So, of course,
Well,
obviously the most
it
damaging
just has-
part would stick with you. Yeah.
And it just has such a, those last half hour or last 45 minutes is just so powerful. I mean, before the exorcism, when her mom is basically, well, let's try a psychiatrist. Okay, let's try a spinal tap. Let's try this. Let's try that. By the way, I've never seen a spinal tap before. That's I mean, and I know obviously it's not, we're not watching a real spinal tap, but I'm sure that's what they looked like back then. And holy crap.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That was gnarly.
All
I
of
didn't like
all
that.
of it's bad. It's everything. All the medical stuff is terrible because they even got those open. What we have close CRT machines or
the
whatever.
MRI.
Now,
The MRI
MRIs,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was the scariest
And,
part of this viewing.
Absolutely.
Jeez.
I just want to, everybody needs to agree that the scariest thing in the whole movie has nothing to do with the possession.
Yeah.
It's the
right,
medical.
right, nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
It's all
kind
the
of
medicine
agree.
used on her. Yeah,
I kind of
for sure.
agree. And I can say that pretty successfully I came through this movie with a reverse order scare. Like I still really respect I think it's okay. So first of all, I think this movie holds the hell up. It's like really good at what it does. For when it came out, it still feels like, oh, that's a relevant thing you could see now and be freaked out
Feels
by.
timeless.
Yeah, it feels pretty timeless. It's well done. The director did a killer job. We'll talk about him in a minute. But it was cathartic in the sense that I saw the stuff that freaked me out as a kid and went, oh, well, I'm just kind of having fun now. This is just a good time in horror movie town. And it's not that scary. But it's fun to see, oh, they still got like hot air coming out of her during the cold room when her head's turning around. That's a nice touch. And,
Right. Yes.
I'm starting to notice
Showing
those
scenes and
things.
stuff.
But then what
I'm a
scared
little-
me was that damn MRI out in the open bullshit. That scared me
Yeah.
so bad. Hated it.
Especially the one that swings around like it's a
Yeah,
taffy pulling machine. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, it looks so barbaric in there. That was awful. The whole
Totally.
thing.
That's
And then there's also this thing you've had life experience with your own kids now, and there's this feeling of I don't want to watch my kid have to have that done. You know?
God, yeah. No kidding.
Ugh.
Yeah, because you're watching
this horror
her
had-
underneath that thing, and she is screaming and scared shitless.
Yeah.
And that is it's such a, I guess, parenthood thing.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what
this horror had something for everybody. Right?
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
something for the parents, a little something for the kids, a little
Yeah.
something for
exactly
the
scares
religious.
the whole family. Bring
Yeah.
the dogs. I'm a little bummed that the Max version was not the deluxe edition with the additional scenes, because the spider walk, and then there's I think it's when Ellen Burstyn is in the kitchen alone and the phone rings, the lights go out, the lights come back on, but you get a shot of Pazuzu kind of, if I remember correctly, kind of hovering his face. You see his face kind of hovering over the stove and like a wisp of smoke kind of thing, which was really freaky.
I've never seen that. I have seen somebody somewhere showed me the scene with her spider walking down the stairs.
Yeah.
But I forgot while I was watching it that I didn't get it. And now that you said it, I thought it was part of the original movie. I don't know why my brain won't separate
and it's
them.
such a freaky scene that it belongs in the film. Like that bit holds up, I think.
Yeah, other
I'm
movies
watching
do
it
it
now, and she's got this tongue thing going on too. Right after that, no, thank you. I'm glad we didn't see
that
this.
tongue thing, dude.
Oh yeah.
Ugh, nasty. So it's
all I can think of is poor Linda Blair having to have this prosthetic tongue.
the other thing that happened back then. This was a movie where I feel like 70s, 80s into the 90s, Satanic Panic's at its stupidest. And there was one of two reactions to this. People are either mad at this movie for glorifying this stuff because they were true believers. And then the other half of people were like, oh, no, this movie's more of a documentary than a thing. And they would make up stories about what happened on set. And it was a real possession. That girl, the reason she got an actor nomination isn't because she was good. It's because she was actually a demon for a while. Like, I remember this conversation going on. And I hate that shit so much, where the whole world goes down some rabbit hole and gets stupid about a movie. So it was good for me to see this one and go, oh, yeah, it's a movie. And it's also the 70s where the sound mix is shit, and they don't really know how to have someone scream and talk without turning the thing way too low while they're talking and too high while they're screaming. And, I'm seeing all the seams. This was good for me. It was good for me to see this movie again.
Yeah, I just want to counterpoint a little bit of that. This is a really good film. Like,
so good.
All the filmmakers, especially the director, are way above the competency level that they need to be at. They are pouring it all out. Like, every shot
Fully
felt
agree.
like it was
Fully agree.
Just
this isn't me saying the movie's bad. This is me saying, hey, young Scott, you didn't need to freak out. It's just a movie.
Like,
the content is difficult, but the execution was amazing.
It's just set up to be. It's set up to be a movie that is meant to make everybody freak out, like Blair Witch, and ask if it's real. Was Blair Witch real? Was that really documentary footage? They found it somewhere. They want people to do that. It drives audiences and it gets people talking, and they go see your movie. I totally get it. But as a kid, I bought into that to the point that this movie was like otherworldly in my head. And now I see it and just go, no, it's just a good horror movie. They did a great job with it, but it's a movie and I'm fine. And that's good. It's a nice freeing feeling for me.
It looks like one of the reasons that there's so much trivia, and like there's so much trivia on IMDb, that there's other trivia in Wikipedia that's not the same trivia. Like, there's so much. And it looks like one of the reasons for that is that William Friedkin loves to talk about this movie and the making of this movie. Like, he did apparently a ton of press in 2013, like the 40th anniversary, and he just delivered hours and hours of information. And I want to put some scrutiny on some of that, because it's like, it just feels like very, very self-congratulatory and embellishing,
Might be.
Right.
Yeah, he just died this year, didn't he?
That's fine.
Died in August.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I mean, let's look at it. I mean, it really was a cultural phenomenon. I mean, it changed a lot of things. So yeah,
it did. And it's a lot of people, it's, as we alluded to in the beginning, it's what a lot of people kind of put as the scariest movie they've ever seen, just because of the time they saw it. There's way scarier things these days. I mean, I keep bringing up Barbarian, but that thing that thing freaks me out.
Oh yeah, there's some kid who's 10 now who saw Barbarian because his mom thought he was asleep in the back seat when he wasn't.
Yeah,
that is going to have this same thing to say, or Hereditary, or a handful of other movies. And I think that's an important thing to say about this movie. It is the thing of its time, and it took the zeitgeist. Is still, if you adjust for inflation, let's see. Right. This is fascinating. Second highest grossing Warner Brothers film of all time, if you adjust for inflation.
Oh, wow.
First is Barbie, so that just got dethroned this year.
Wow. Oh, wow.
But only if you adjust for inflation.
Dethroning The Exorcist. I love it. What a great headline.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But that's nuts, right? Like, how big of an impact. And then what a disappointment 2 must have been, because that thing is just universally panned as being shit.
Yeah.
It's hard. I started going through it.
Is that the one that Max recommends to you right after, and it's got Linda Blair again, kind of as the prominent figure on the poster?
Yeah, she's all tied up in wires and stuff, or something on the cover of that, I think. Okay. Like she's being tested or something. I never saw 2, so I have zero connection to it.
I started watching 2 just because I wanted to see where the characters were going to go, just to see. I didn't like stop and watch anything that would influence my take. I was just curious what happened afterwards.
Yeah, The Heretic it's called, and it had, listen to the cast went crazy. Richard Burton shows up. Louise Fletcher's back, or no, she wasn't in it at all. Louise Fletcher's in it. She's amazing. Von Sydow shows up again. You also get, let's see, Ned Beatty, James Earl Jones. Like two was like, hey, I think we got a franchise here. Let's get going. But then it turned out to be just bad. It's a bad movie.
Mm-hmm. Right. They didn't need to go any further than this. This was an amazing one-off kind of thing, right? You can't top the experience. What do you have, like The Exorcist again? I mean, it's an event. It's an event movie. Yeah. And to do it again is just pointless.
The current one, what's the current one? The one that's in theaters now.
But that's kind of a little bit of a reboot too, there, right?
It's a sequel.
It's still in the same. It's the sequel, but it's still kind of a reboot.
They're trying to restart a franchise, but yes, Burston shows up.
The Formula One just years later.
It's called. It's reviewing very poorly.
Is it? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Next is Firestarter. I don't know
what's called. What is this called? Exorcist. Believer.
When you say it like that, I don't like it.
It's Believer. It's currently at 22%. It's not great. But it's got people I really like. So Ellen Burstyn's back, and you got Leslie Odom Jr. You got Ann Dowd. Love her. I mean, this has.
Did you say Linda Blair? She's back.
Oh, is she back? I didn't see her in here.
Yeah, and it's a. I mean, I hate to say it if I just spoiled it for somebody, but she wasn't in the trailer. Ellen Burstyn is, and it's like, oh wow, they got the mom for this, wow. But when I was looking up Linda Blair, it says, and she reprises her role in The Exorcist Believer. I'm like, oh well, okay, I guess that's something.
Wow.
Interesting.
And interestingly, oh man, this is really weird because so if you go to the first Exorcist, you can see everybody's got a picture. On this most recent one, there's like 2 people, and then everybody else is people you don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see you're not wrong about that. My favorite review for this new one, by the way, is this guy named Kevin Ranson over at moviecrypt.com. His quote is, "The greatest trick the devil ever played was convincing the world to keep making bad Exorcist sequels." Nice. I'll probably end up seeing it, though. Like, I feel a little bit freed up here. Like, the movie, I needed this. Like, where else was I going to care to watch this again? Film Sack, of course. Where else?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so when we finally get to it, I was kind of bracing myself last night. I was like, all right, am I going to lose it here? Mm-hmm. Just because you're a kid, I have these connections. We've talked about this, but it's just your kid brain is different than your adult brain. And having seen it now, I feel like I can move on with my life. It's like I've finally dealt with The Exorcist. It's good. It's fine. It's a very good movie, and it's also not real. Small Johnson, Little Johnson. It's not real. It's great. I really enjoyed it.
So did Jack McGowan, who played the director in the movie, did he die on set or something? Because he's like, this is like the last movie he ever did.
He did.
Oh, really?
He died right after.
What happened? Burke Jennings. Yeah, he fell in the steps. Yeah.
So did another guy that died just a month or 2 later. The drunk guy at the party.
They said he was going to die.
It must have been during the filming, though, because we never see Jack McGowan's character after a certain point, right? Like, and then they just tell you that he died off screen.
Mhm.
Yeah, and he died January 30th, 1973. So, geez, yeah, like 11 months
that
before
same
the
year.
movie was released.
Yeah.
Death shortly after completing work on The Exorcist while in New York City, appearing as a father in The Plow and the Stars. Died at 54 from influenza.
So after completing work on The Exorcist.
Yeah,
He's
and
a
he was
born and raised Irishman doing a sort of generic English accent here, and I kind of wish they hadn't done that. I wish they just let him be Irish.
Oh yeah, he was drunk as an Irishman.
This guy died at 54, which is the same age as Matthew Perry just passed away.
Yeah.
But he looked like he was about a million years old.
Yeah, nobody in this movie. Okay, Max von Sydow, while yes, they used some makeup on him, is only 44 years old in this movie. It's unbelievably impossible when you look at him on screen. You just can't believe it.
I feel like Jason Miller's the better example. This is his very first film. This is before they did and introducing credits. He would have been, introducing Jason Miller as Father Karras. His very first film, guys. Wow. He was 32 while filming this movie.
He did not look 32.
50.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but entire movie.
Yeah.
But they easily, the Max von Sydow thing, a lot of that I'm sure was the makeup to make him look like the older priest. Like let's really emphasize that he's the older priest, because we saw him in Flash Gordon, of course, being the merciless, and take away the mustache and all that stuff, and he looks a lot younger than he does here.
Oh, for sure.
So,
I think the makeup is actually kind of brilliant. It's really good and well done.
Yeah.
So you don't really think about it, because what you feel like you're looking at is Max von Sydow in Game of Thrones or something more recent.
right. Star Wars. Yeah.
It's very weird, but
Force
he is a very compelling presence in movies.
He is.
And we've now seen him in 11 movies on Film Sack.
11?
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
That's a lot more than I thought. Well, give me an example.
Including Brad Dunaway's favorite movie of all time.
Yeah. And he was
he's great in that.
We sacked The Force Awakens. He was in that. We sacked Strange Brew. He was in that.
I forgot about that. Poor Max von Sydow.
Yeah. Strange Brew. He's the one that shuts the big tank that they're making the giant beer in, right? I think I made a GIF out of it to block people on social media. So when the flap was slammed shut, I would put the words muted underneath it.
let me tell you,
his legacy. Let me one real quick thing about Max von Sydow. His legacy will go on forever, because in 1968, somebody named Kurt Bergfors in Bergfors in Sweden named his large chain of international restaurants Max Hamburgers. After Max von Sydow.
They didn't do Max von Hamburgers? That's too bad.
No, they just called it Max Hamburgers.
You got to put the von in there is not the same.
Yeah. But he's just, I don't know, something about that dude and his career. He felt like he started at age 90 and then did everything at age 90 and then made everything he was in better. And I remember when he died, I went, well, that's not right. He's supposed to live forever and just look old. Like, that's his job.
I actually thought his painted white hair in this movie was very effective. If you look closely, you could be, oh wow, they just painted his hair white. Like it looks like cotton candy, but it actually made him feel ancient for some reason. Mm-hmm. I just thought it was really cool.
Yeah, it's almost magical, but I can't see him in any other way. Like, I don't see him young in anything. There's a screenshot. Look at his hand. Look at his jowls and his stuff. Like, yes, amazing his makeup work.
And his stuff. Hey, look at his jowls and his stuff.
Oh
my God, look at those jowls.
I mean, it's really something to make a guy look that old who's not really that old.
Yeah, and there's some compound that you brush on skin to make it look wrinkly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? Like thinner? Yeah. Okay.
And they've got it all over. They put it all over his jaw and the back of his hand and this kind of thing to make him look like he's really old.
Jeez.
I think we need to talk again. We've talked about this so many times, but we need to talk again about how in old movies, young people look older. There's just a thing. It's just how it works.
No, you're right. Let's say you're watching something with a young guy in it. It's like he's 25. Add 10 years, and that's how that guy will look. And you can kind of work it all the way up. And I don't know why this freaking is. It's weird to me. Is it because they were all smoking 30 packs a day? I don't know.
That's part of it for sure. That's got to be part of it.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, these priests were smoking. What the hell, man?
Yeah,
the priests were smoking.
Yeah.
So I went down all kinds of rabbit holes around the Jesuit priests having their vices, because like you, Scott, or everybody, I assume in this group, I grew up in a very Protestant world. And there's like just this thing where one of the major divisions between Protestants and Catholics was the Protestants wanted to see us all be, like constantly sinners trying to deal with our sins, and vices were sins. Whereas, Catholics, they had already had their sins very well defined, right? You have the cardinal sins, right? And the other stuff is like, it's not a big deal. Obviously, God doesn't care if you drink wine. God gave you wine. Whereas the Protestants are like,
and he gave rock and roll to you. He doesn't care for listening to that.
the Protestants are like, anything that feels good takes you away from God, right? So we all kind of grew up in that mindset, and so it's shocking when you look into the Catholic mindset, and they're in a freaking bar. Like there could have been a stripper over there, and these priests do not care about it. That's kind of shocking.
I actually loved the character writing in this story. I haven't read the book. I'm kind of interested in reading the book now because I don't want to give too much credit to the movie unless it deserves it. But you got just enough character story from each of the characters to understand their current motivations and nothing more. No sexual tension between anybody or anything like that. We took all that off the table. We focused entirely on this, this demonic possession, and we just focused totally on that, and it was amazing. I loved all those other relationships.
And I'd also be curious to see if what the breakdown of the book is. Like, does it start with so much of the archaeological and Sydow's travels? Does it, what's the percentage of time before we get the weird stuff that starts to happen? By the way, does Pazuzu somehow vandalize that statue in the church?
Oh, I got big questions about the statue in the church, because who the hell did it? Right?
Yeah.
There was a lot of questions left over. Who left the cross underneath Linda Blair's pillow? Who's really orchestrating this stuff? And I found that fascinating as well.
Yeah, but they never answer it. The only thing you get close to it is they kind of make you feel like the priest at the end that does last rites on Sydow and finds everybody and then stares down the steps and then it fades to black. That he maybe was up to some shit.
You're talking about William O'Malley, are you?
Yeah,
the
that
Father
guy.
Dyer.
Yeah,
or not necessarily that he was up to anything, but maybe he was the target all along, and the demon is finally getting its hooks into him as intended.
Yeah,
maybe it's definitely a revenge story for Marin messing around in Africa doing the exorcism, and then also digging up the demon bones in Iraq. So I mean, yeah, but it's interesting because you don't know, and I like those questions. They left enough questions for me that I felt like, okay, maybe I do want to see a sequel. If they explore it,
and I don't even think I don't think the movie was posturing for sequels, but I do think you're right about how it's compelling at the end to say, well, I kind of want to keep going here. Like, what else is going to go on?
Yeah, but a sequel you've got to be really careful with too. I mean, you almost have to have the transference of Pazuzu. You can't really have Linda Blair, oh no, I've been possessed to get repossessed. It would need to be, somebody else. And because our two major exorcists have died, do you have the transference be to the other priest that?
I think William O'Malley has to be because he's the one who ends up with the pendant, right? That's
with the pendant, exactly. And he gets closest to Karras's body at the end. So if there is some sort of transference, you could kind of say it happened then.
Yeah. Speaking of transference, I want to give big props to the movie for a thing I don't remember in the first viewing, and this time truly impressed me. And it's when Father
Karras?
No, wait. What's his name? The younger one.
The young one is Karras.
Karras. Okay. Father Karras is getting the transferred spirit from her to him.
Right.
And the way he rears back and he kind of morphs to have the face, all the problems with your face that happens when you do the thing.
Yeah, there's a Bilbo Baggins and Elrond's and Rivendell thing.
Yes.
Where he briefly gets,
Yeah, it was really good. Like really intense.
Which is really well done because the camera doesn't leave his face and it turns gray and ashen and then back to his normal color right before he goes out the window.
And it does it from an angle and at a speed that really has weird momentum. It's like this upward movement of the camera that comes up toward him. and then he's got the wherewithal to realize, well, shit, it's in me now. I'm jumping. Man, that was something. That was great.
Did you notice
Jason Miller's performance was amazing in this? Go ahead. What did we notice?
Did you notice the sped up scenes in the early film? Scott?
No.
Yeah, there's several shots where Max von Sydow he's just going places. He's he's in Mosul. He's just like walking around Mosul. Walking around out in the desert, and they had to speed up the shots because he's walking very slowly, and they didn't want you to lose interest. and so you could kind of see it's sped up, and it's like, oh man,
it's a bummer.
Yeah, it's a funny effect though. I
didn't notice it.
I'm glad I didn't notice it because that would take me immediately when I see stuff like that. I think I hear the Benny Hill song in my head. So I'm totally glad I missed it.
So William Friedkin, the director, I know we've seen other shit with him in it for the show, have we not?
No,
or,
we haven't. Not for this show.
We didn't see the French Connection, did we? I thought we did.
No.
Okay.
No. I'm shocked we haven't watched To Live and Die in L.A. How have we not seen?
Oh wow, we should watch that because I've never seen it, and I know it's supposed to be really good.
Oh yeah,
I like the Wang Chung song.
Yeah,
and we didn't do Tales from the Crypt. One episode of the TV series.
Well, he directed.
Say we did the movie, but we didn't do.
He directed
one
a bunch of those.
Tales from the
He only did the one in '92, but he stayed busy. He directed something in this year called The Kane Mutiny Court Martial.
Right.
What is the? Oh, this is that new. Holy shit! This is that new Kiefer Sutherland military courtroom deal that's out.
The Kane
it's on Showtime.
Marshall?
Yeah, Kane Mutiny Court Martial, yeah.
Yeah, Jason Clarke, a whole bunch of cool actors. I didn't know he did that. That's cool. So he was, this guy was respected, made some great movies.
I was getting such a Spielberg vibe from this movie off the top. And I'm like, where did they both get their influence for this particular type of setup?
Hitchcock.
Is it Hitchcock?
Yeah, I would say so. Probably. I mean,
I've recently watched a bunch of Hitchcock movies, and there's there's all these things like shooting from outside a window. You have your characters inside a house or a building or whatever, and you're outside the window, and then the camera pushes through the window. Like so many things.
Yeah, that's interesting. He did the. Let's see. Oh yeah, the Wang Chung Live and Die. Brian brought that up. Let's see. Where's the one I'm looking for though? Oh, was it Sorcerer? That movie I have a lot of fun feelings for.
But this director also did some Alfred Hitchcock hours, so maybe he got to work with the great Hitchcock. I wonder.
Maybe he was happy he hitched his cock to that day.
Yes.
Do you guys ever see Sorcerer, the Roy Scheider thing? That's hard to explain that movie. Four unfortunate men. That's great. Four unfortunate men from different parts of the globe agree to risk their lives transporting gallons of nitroglycerin across the dangerous Latin American jungle. That movie's great, dude.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge influence.
I love that movie. Yeah, that's the same director. A couple years later, but 77.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, he's great. Anyway, here's some other trivia. Due to death threats against Linda Blair from religious zealots who believe the film was glorifying Satan, Warner Brothers had bodyguards protect her for 6 months after the movie was released. So good for them, keeping the girls safe.
Yeah, and of all people to complain against to death threat, why Linda Blair? Why not the director? Why not the writer?
Yeah, right, exactly.
13-year-old, I can't believe you.
She's
the problem.
There might be a lesson in that about religious zealots and where they place where they point their fingers.
It was her choice to masturbate with a crucifix.
Yeah, it's not anyone else's fault. Oh, that part's still, dude. Even though the blood looks stupid now, it's like that raspberry blood.
That scene is really hard to watch.
It's really rough.
Well, and apparently we saw the version where that scene is cut even more like than you would expect. And we're not saying that the extra 10 minutes is all new or extended footage, right? Because some of it is replacement footage where. Like instead of seeing a person walking down a street for an hour, you're seeing less of that and more of something where they're talking, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like we're missing 10 minutes. It's just there's a different extra 10 minutes.
Sure.
And apparently there's like this whole TV cut, which I just find hysterical. I want to see it so bad that they edited this film for television.
Right. I want to see that.
It's an archaeological film is what it is.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you could probably pretty easily do it.
Yeah, you
I
just
mean-
have to cut a lot of that last 20 minutes out.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
the only whenever Linda Blair is on screen, pretty much anytime she opens her mouth, when
You have
she's
to just
possessed.
do the
Yeah.
her speech and stuff. By the way, that is still some pretty powerful stuff. The sound mixing, sound editing of all of those
So good.
weird voices. Even the one that Scott played that kind of sounds a little bit like William Hickey.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
That's
There's a little William
Yeah,
Hickey
you
in there.
asked for it, you got it.
This one right here. It's very William Hickey.
That is William Hickey right there. Yeah.
Say the blessing.
Wow.
But
Yeah,
the,
no, I thought it was really
They want
effective too.
to
It's funny because there were moments where you were like, "Oh, that's a little overripe," or "That's a little too loud," or whatever. But on the whole, that stuff was still
Right.
just like, ugh. And she did a good job of like faking the lip reading, and still really good. I did.
Yeah, so I'm guessing in situations like that, they record her doing the dialogue first, which is probably what freaked Max von Sydow out. But they record her doing the dialogue first, and then they have somebody ADR match the tempo and the cadence and stuff, so they can overlay it.
Yeah.
as opposed
Which
to
is really good because I mean it is a spirit inside of her, so you expect her to be just because he's calling from like I guess hell, so you might a little delay is okay. So if
yeah,
it's not
a little
perfectly
lag.
matched up,
That's fine. It's like
it's fine.
Discord.
Calling.
Yeah,
Yeah. Totally
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really, that stuff was pretty good. I don't know why he's British. Did they explain that?
why Pazuzu is
it's
British.
awesome.
Yeah.
because he's
You know-
over in he's part of the colonizers, right? He's part of over in Iraq, and where he finally
Yeah.
ended up at. Is that the,
Maybe.
He only uses the King James version of the Bible.
yeah.
yeah.
That's right. Now it makes sense. That translation would definitely lead to a British Cockney accent. But yeah, I thought that stuff was really effective. I thought the lighting in the room. So whoever's in charge of that, I guess that's cinematographer or lighting experts, whatever. Unbelievably good. It's half the reason the whole set, the whole sequence of events in the exorcism part of the movie, The Exorcist, is so well done. I think is the lighting in there. It just was so good. She would look up at certain angles, and the way shadows were cast on her face made her way more scary. The head turning around, kind of stupid because we know how fake that is. But that room looked good.
It was
Like,
stupid
and
now,
also-
but man,
No, and that was my biggest problem with the movie is that supernatural or not. All right, when she gets like when she finally gets exorcised, the demon gets out of her. How is she not like dead from having her esophagus wrapped
Right.
around her spine?
yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little hand wavy. Plus, there's other things like sometimes this creature can do nothing because he's strapped to the bed and she can't move, and all he can do is talk. Sometimes he can move furniture around and almost crush you with it.
Right.
Like,
Right.
Which
Well, that's
way-
why I asked if he could deface the statue, or did he possess somebody else who went and defaced the statue before he moved on to the attic?
right. And
So
this is kind of a fundamental. This is why I always complain about the haunted house movies. This is a haunted person, and it's kind of the same
Yeah.
problem. It's like, well,
Yep. The rules.
what are the rules?
Establish your rules and stick to those rules.
Yeah.
In the first interview with the devil, Karras asks the devil to prove himself. He asks
Right.
several times, "I need you to prove yourself." And the devil's like, "No, I'm not feeling this vibe right now."
Mm.
And I
In
just
good time.
Yeah, I just thought that was brilliant. That was really, really brilliant because this priest is already having a huge crisis of faith over the fact that his mother's dying, his ignominious death, and he's going to encounter the actual devil. And then the devil's like, "I'm gonna just mess with you some more. I could
Right.
break these. I could break these straps. I just don't want to."
because that's the whole deal, right? It's like everything's based on faith, so it's got to be faith based on the good side as well as the bad side, and you can't trust him, even if he told you exactly what you wanted to know. Is going to be mixed truth in there. I love the Father Karras character, and it's kind of what's pushing me the most to want to read the book because I want to know if it was Jason Miller's portrayal or if it's the actual character, because I could watch a lot more of this, retired boxer who's getting bullshit guilt from his uncle, and his mom is, dying, and he's made this choice to live this priestly life, but at what cost?
Right.
You know, it's
I agree.
too
Maybe
much.
the book's
We
told
loved it.
from his perspective. I guess I could find out by looking it up. But
And every time he's like feeling depressed, he goes like jogging in DC in the winter.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, Rocky. Right.
let's see. Yeah,
Loved
this is. It looks like the book is told primarily, not entirely, but primarily from his perspective. So that could be interesting, Dunaway. Maybe you want to pick that up.
Yeah.
It's still out there.
I'm thinking about it.
I just can't believe it's this guy's first film. Like he is so good. He really makes the film. And they went, like Friedkin's a weirdo, and he wanted a bunch of like actual priests in this movie. So they cast actual priests as the people, like the guy you see who discovers the defiled statue. Like that's an actual priest, and so on. And like, why would you do that?
And they didn't tell him. I would love if they didn't tell him.
Yeah.
You're going to come in, you're going to see some stuff. We want you to react. That's all I got to do.
Yeah, and of course, by the way, they shot 2 completely different defiled statues, so they could have one that was terribly gross for the R-rated version, and one that was
going to say something worse than what we saw.
No, they shot a TV-friendly one, and apparently, it's not even a little bit scary. It's just like,
is it just the boobs? I think the boobs were kind of like, but then when you stick I was like, okay.
No, the TV version, he sees a statue that's just got a little red paint on it. It's not a problem.
Because those
reaction
pointy
probably was well overplayed in that version of it. Then,
yeah, and those pointy blood-tipped boobs, dude. They look like they got someone in the face or killed other people on their way in or something. That's nasty.
That almost ruin you for boobs.
Yeah, no, I need boobs. I need boobs. This is interesting because that Jason Miller guy, I agree, really killer performance, amazing first role, all that stuff. But he never really went on to anything amazing. Like he's mostly known for
I couldn't
Rudy.
believe it. Maybe it's because he's so genuine. He's such a genuine person. We weren't looking for genuine characters.
Died a little young. 62 is all. Passed away in 01. That's a little young. It's about my dad's age.
He apparently died of a heart attack, which
those can happen.
It was a delayed heart attack. He actually had it on the set.
Yeah,
but it didn't
it just took a while to actually manifest. Yeah, I could see that. He shows up again in Exorcist 3 as not this character. He's Patient X in Exorcist 3 in 1990.
Oh,
Patient X, really?
And Exorcist 3 has a decent review score. I wonder if that one's worth looking at. George C. Scott's in it.
I think that's supposed to be a good one. It's different, but I think it's supposed to be a good one. I haven't seen it.
Brad Dourif. Oh, hey, we just did Brad Dourif. He's in that.
Yeah, he's Chucky. Chucky was in it.
An actor named Ed Flanders. Poor guy.
Poor now.
Yeah, poor now. And then the dude from Walking Dead, that Scott Wilson guy that was.
Oh yeah.
He was always in the news for drunk driving on the set or something.
Oh yeah.
He died too, but. Man, everyone's dead. But that's the other thing this movie had with it. It had this weird thing around it that it's a curse. If you're in that movie, you're cursed. And now we can look at it from all these years later, 50 years later. Not really. Max von Sydow lived a long-ass time. He was in his 90s.
Yeah.
He was old as dirt. Now, some people died a little young, but it's also the 70s. They were all drinking and smoking themselves to death. And I don't know, this Irish actor guy.
This was a dangerous film to make. I mean, they're doing desert things. They're doing other actors in refrigerated areas. They're doing a bunch of stunts. It's just a dangerous movie to make. So of course people got hurt and killed, and that's making movies, right?
Well,
making movies sometimes is dangerous.
But look, Ellen Burstyn still doing great. Max von Sydow doing great. Well, he's dead now, but he was in his 90s. Right. Had a big long life. Yeah, Linda Blair still out there, still rocking it. And most of the other actors. These ideas that we were planted into our kids that if you were in a movie about a scary thing, or if it was like somehow religious connected, I hate that.
Twilight Zone, right? That was
Poltergeist for me.
Same thing. Poltergeist had the same thing because the little girl died, and everyone thought, that's part of the curse. And it's like, you guys made up a curse for one total uncircumstantial
But did she really die?
death.
I can't remember now. I've heard it so many times.
She died.
That now I'm not sure. She really died.
Away. Oh yeah, the little girl in there. Yeah. She had it's a fact. Yeah, but not caused by the movie. She had a childhood disease that took her at age 12 or something.
She was killed when she was 22 by her ex-boyfriend.
No, wrong. That's not her. That's somebody else. But the point, my point is,
older sister,
I'm just mad at a whole generation of parents for being such paranoid weenie heads.
Disorders.
That's what pisses me off. Like, all these guys, all these people in their 30s to 40s who are our parents' friends, local neighbors, whatever. And your experience may vary depending on what part of the country or the world you lived in. But they were all just so, oh, I hear that there's razor blades in this year's candy bars, or I hear that you can't ever have Tylenol again because now it's, like they were so paranoid. What was wrong with our parents' generation? Bunch of paranoid bastards.
I don't know, 'cause,
Paranoid.
we need to talk a little bit about Ellen Burstyn. She is 89. She's going to be 90 in a month, and she's got 2 upcoming films right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
she's busy.
Wow.
She's got shit going on.
I have no films coming, and I'm not even 90. Wow.
She looks fantastic, by the way, for her age.
Absolutely perfect performance by her, except I don't love how the script treats her character. I really like how she interprets the character. Like she's properly, like freaked out. She gets mad at the right levels, like there's an increase, a staircase of her anger. And like when she eventually blows up on the scientists, that's like a really cool scene. And Ellen Burstyn is amazing in this. Oh man, this script has her like off walking around town while her child is tied up to a bed. And no, I'm sorry. I don't think that's a good depiction of a mom.
Yeah, I don't think you just go shopping.
But it was she was a actress. She was well off. She had a bunch of servants. It makes sense that she was a little disconnected, kind of from her daughter, but
Super
also
hands-off.
somewhat super hands off. So it kind of worked for the character for me.
Her daughter is upstairs, the bed's shaking, her daughter's head spinning around, spewing green apple Go-Gurt, and she's downstairs ironing the priest's shirt
on a desk. By the way,
her daughter just puked on the priest's shirt.
Yeah, but
why iron it?
Yeah, why are you ironing it? Not only why are you ironing it, why are you iron things on a desk? It's a desk, Brian.
It was 73.
No, it was a desk. Nobody ironed their clothes on a desk. Nobody pulled out clothes and put them on a desk and ironed them. That's weird.
And she's out walking around smoking cigarettes, walking on the bridge while all this stuff is going on too. And she bumps into the priest shrink.
It felt authentic to me. Wait, what do you do? I mean, if you've ever been in that situation, it's like she's almost like her daughter's got a terminal illness. It's like, I
it's a little more. I mean, it's. But the problem is she doesn't know what it is. It's it's a little bit more immediate than she's got terminal stage 4 cancer or something. It's like, no, she's the bed is flying off of the floor and she's
yeah, that's a very different scenario. Also, when she comes in downstairs to the party and pees on the floor, was she possessed then? Because they didn't really make that clear.
Oh, absolutely.
She was?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Because she didn't have the voice and she just stared off and said, "You're all going to die" or whatever. And then she peed.
It takes time. It takes time for the demons to take full control. They gotta.
So
great if you would have the hickey voice for that one.
Yeah.
You're gonna die up there.
I just want to say, and it sounds like Ipit agrees with me that this is a screenwriter's idea of what is cool. Like you don't like a woman who just hangs out right outside the bedroom the entire movie is not that interesting. A woman who is racked with fear and guilt and pacing down the street smoking a cigarette is much more interesting to look at and think about. It's just like there's a point where I'm like, oh, I don't. It's making me not like her, and I guess, and that's fine too. That's totally fine too. It's just I noticed,
I didn't think we were supposed to like her. I thought that was the point.
Well,
not the point.
She's definitely our victim number one. The mom is, the primary sufferer outside of the possessed, right?
I think we're supposed to feel for her, and
I may have been reading a little bit too much into it because some of it's kind of like making you question: is she being punished because she got a divorce and that kind of stuff? And it's like because we do a lot of these religious ideas. So I wasn't sure if that was how intentional it was. So I couldn't figure out if I was supposed to. I didn't know how I was supposed to feel about the character.
Well, for a hot minute, they wanted you to think she was harboring a Nazi as a house.
I loved that when he goes off, when Burke Dennings goes off on the Nazi. He's such a fun character. He's such a fun party guy.
I don't know if because I don't know if that dude was really a Nazi or not. So it felt like. I felt bad for that guy, but then it went nowhere. That was a weird storyline. It was a weird.
The chick in the bucket. The chick in the bucket is the crucifix under the pillow. Like we're never told what the hell.
I thought the babysitter, the younger.
She never
she
admitted
denied
to
it. Okay.
She
She
denied,
denied
it.
it. Everybody denied it.
Yeah.
And then we just put it down. We put the crucifix down, and then that's it. We never come back to it. It's not a thing anymore.
Well, I ain't
Nope.
using that thing ever again. We're done with that one. That crucifix can go.
That was this crucifix is all used up.
that crucifix is seen.
It's been places.
It's been places that we don't want to go. So throw it away. That's what I say. I forgot Ellen
One of my
Burstyn was
favorite
the
characters.
old drug addict in Requiem for a Dream. By the way, I totally forgot that was her.
Oh yeah.
You remember that? She was they had the 4 stories or whatever, and she was the old lady in the hospital that needed more opiates and stuff. She's amazing in that. I mean, everyone's good in that, but
Yeah.
also it's terrifying and horrible. That
I
movie.
forgot so much. Well, I not forgot about that movie. I think I have purposefully forgotten a lot about that movie.
That's one that is hard to shake as an adult.
It is. Yeah, it really is.
It's really
It's like I remember enough, and I remember. Yeah, I don't want to ever see that movie again.
yeah, I kind of I
I'll-
definitely felt that.
I'll tell you who I enjoyed though is Lieutenant Kinderman, the investigator. He's there.
Oh, sure.
he's a
And,
great
oh my
actor.
God,
Yeah.
I laughed out loud when he was in the door crack when she wouldn't quite let him
Yeah.
in. And the door
Right.
was-
She
and
opened the
thing
door with
opened.
the little lock thing on it, the chain. Yeah.
That's Lee
another-
J. Cobb, right? Yeah,
Look at
that
his
guy's
face.
great.
Yeah.
Great
Another
actor.
major character that could have been fleshed out more, could have been given more to do in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Like this could have been a 2.5 hour long movie, and we could have followed a lot of his like questioning and consternation around what he's witnessing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
He died, by the way, right after this as well, a couple years after. But he was
It's
in
the curse. It's the curse.
he was in some stuff though, man. Gunsmoke, a whole bunch of old Western stuff. He's great. I freaking like that guy.
Let's just put it this way: if you saw this with your grandpa, he'd probably been pointing at the screen, going, it's the guy.
Yeah,
It's the guys in that show."
yeah, probably right.
And his Lee J. Cobb's IMDb photo makes him look like a stand-in for Gene Hackman.
Yeah, he does quite a bit. I think it's
can
from
see
this
that.
movie.
That's a good call.
I'm pretty sure that's from
Yeah.
this film. He was also
It
he
is
was
from
also
this
in French
movie.
Connection, so maybe there was something there. But he was in 12 Angry Men.
Oh,
He was one of the
Connection, maybe?
more memorable characters in 12 Angry Men. It's fantastic.
Oh, are they connected? Because our director directed one of the 12 Angry Men.
The TV adaptation in 27
Yeah.
or 20 or 97, I think. Yeah, you're right. He directed that. So I don't think there's a connection, but it just shows you how small Hollywood is, I guess.
It's not a French Connection.
No, it's definitely not a French connection.
It made me smile that this film is so I don't want to say slow or plodding, but it's very methodical. It moves at a very particular pace, and it never speeds up. And Lieutenant Kinderman is the best example of this for me. He has no urgency whatsoever to figure out whether or not Burke committed suicide or was killed or what. He is just like, I just like to come to your college and talk, man. Can we just talk? I want to be your friend.
I would
You
love
need
to-
a friend. He actually says that. Like, do you need a friend? Dude?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I actually was loving that. I was like, oh, is there going to be some kind of romantic thing here? Maybe a little bit, just a little touch, maybe, but no, nothing. But
Yeah.
I did dig his character. He was hilarious.
Yeah.
Like you said, he wouldn't hurry up.
I thought the Jason Miller character and Ellen Burstyn's character were going to have some sort of weird tension. They didn't go there.
I'm glad they didn't.
Thing, yeah.
I'm glad they didn't too. I just thought that we were headed there because there was so much of this I forgot. Like I don't remember. Well, one thing I don't remember for sure is this Robert Simons. You guys know this actor. If you click on his thing, you'll see his face and go, "Oh shit, yeah, that dude's in like too many things. He's in Catch Me If You Can, Primary Colors, Alias." He's just a famous looking actor. I think he was on Seinfeld in an episode. He's one of our Star Trek connections. Quantum Leap. Anyway, this guy was just the psychiatrist for a very small part of this thing, and he's so young in it. Completely threw me off seeing this guy. But now he's like he always played it like a army guy, like a colonel. In fact, I think the photo. Oh, there it is. Okay, his IMDb photo is him on MASH.
Oh, really?
You'll know this guy, Bibbit. Robert Simons. Click him. That dude sitting there drinking, he's the one that wouldn't let Winchester go back home. He's the Winchester.
Sure.
The Winchester, you're stuck here. Sorry, Winchester. I can't help you guy. Anyway, I don't know why I'm bringing him up, except I really like that actor.
I don't know, but if you look at the IMDb photo right next to it, they're playing one of his hot hit movies. What the hell is this from? Because I am loving it. There's some kind of Nazi robot looking thing.
Right.
with
Yeah, it looks like
VR.
a transformer
What
with
The hell is this?
I don't know.
Mandroid apparently is the movie from
Is that
93.
Mandroid?
That's Mandroid.
Jeez, that is so cool. It's like Darkman meets Lawnmower Man.
We should see we should see
We
Mandroid.
need to see Mandroid. Yeah, I mean it's
That sounds terrible. Let's do it.
does. Is he a man or is he an
Look at me.
android?
I have a tie
Maybe
for
both.
favorite IMDb photo: Tito Vandis or Valisky Malarios. Who one of these two? Because
You're
the
making up
ladies
names now.
the
I just like
ladies
that
photo.
name.
The ladies photo is just her on the bed in the movie. It's when he looks at the bed and sees his mom instead of the kid for a brief second.
Yeah.
They just used that for her photo. And then Tito Vandis, he's just stoked. Look at him.
She also died in 73. She died a month after the director dude.
Oh my gosh.
February 9th. So
Oh wow.
this is her only credit.
That's wild, dude. Look at that. That's all she ever did? Oh yeah. Was she anyone's maybe she's family or something? She was good.
Maybe she was family.
I thought she was good in it. Like
The,
it's surprising to me she only ever acted once because she was
Because I read so much of the trivia, I know that Eileen Dietz was the stand-in for Linda Blair on anything that was like super rough. And there was a lot of controversy after this film came out because there had been so much work to film so much Eileen Dietz, and then she ends up only being in 20 seconds of the film because those were the key critical X-rated things.
Yeah.
And so anyway, Eileen Dietz was 27 when they made this movie, right? So she was cast because she had the ability to sort of look a little bit like Linda Blair. She was short and small. And anyway, the Eileen Dietz IMDb photo is one of the worst we've ever seen. Like one of the worst concepts for a photo.
Yeah.
Like, what's it doing there? Why did somebody do this? And then right below it, there are so many photos of Eileen Dietz in her photos folder, and some of them are really good. She's still working. She's great.
She's still
why
working.
does
She's still doing
why
the
does her
thing.
primary IMDb photo? It's basically just I don't know. It's this blurry set shot. It's bizarre.
I like stuff like that. I think that we should have a new segment on the show. We do bring it up all the time. We should have like an official segment about IMDb photos and why they chose so poorly.
Yeah.
Because we're
IMDb WTF.
And why,
Let's do it.
And why can't they all be like Brad Dourif?
yeah, right? Oh man, his
well,
is
you
great.
can't all be Brad Dourif.
No.
I mean, come on.
I've tried. It's not possible.
Yeah.
What else? Let's see. Oh, this was the first horror movie nominated for an Academy Award for Best Picture. First time ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't win, but
Didn't win. I wonder what it lost. Does it show what it lost to? I guess I can look that up real quick.
let's see.
I guess I could do my own Google search.
I
Fine.
could. Yeah, I could and will.
Picture. It looks like it went to. Oh no, the 73 awards
The
have been for
award
the
goes
previous
to-
year, right? So it'd be
Yeah, it
74.
would be the 74 Oscars or Olympics.
It went to the Sting,
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, this thing good. Yeah.
and the other nominees were American Graffiti, A Touch of Class, and Cries and Whispers.
Wow.
And The Exorcist, of course.
It just won for screenplay. Screenplay.
Screenplay.
Prey.
Perfect.
I love it.
Which happened a
Perfect.
lot on screen.
Yeah.
And best sound, which absolutely deserved it.
Yeah, the sound was real good, even though there's some 70. Why is my Alexa playing things? Alexa, stop.
You shut up. Also,
It definitely was supposed to be loud to scare the shit out of you.
yeah,
That's what it's supposed
success.
to startle you.
Successful.
And it did it. Yeah.
Linda Blair Golden Globes did a lot better. It won Best Motion Picture Drama. Linda Blair won Best Supporting Actress. Friedkin got Best
Supporting.
Director. And I don't know how you determine.
Close call.
Yeah, exactly. And Best Screenplay again for William Peter Blatty.
I want to bring you back to the Oscars though, because this was one of the most controversial things ever at the Oscars. The Best Supporting Actress Oscar. The nominees were Candy Clark for American Graffiti, Madeline Kahn for Paper Moon, Sylvia Sidney for two movies. For this isn't two movies. This is a movie that has two names: Summer Wishes, Winter Dreams. And then Linda Blair is nominated for Best Actress in Supporting Role and loses to 10-year-old Tatum O'Neal.
Oh, wow.
Mother
Picture
of
Moon.
God.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, just imagine being Linda Blair's mom and being like, like you've gone through all of this to get your daughter
You
to
think
this
soccer
point.
moms are bad?
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
And they give it to the girl who's technically older, but barely. That's amazing. How old is this girl anyway at this time? How old is Linda Blair when she makes
Linda
this?
Blair is
12.
13.
Oh, she's
but
older than 10,
playing
all right.
younger, right? 12.
She was 12 when they were making the movie.
Okay.
And there's some trivia that I just don't even want to get into because Friedkin claims she was very, very precocious, and I think he spoke out of school and should have kept his mouth shut.
Yeah.
Can I give you my favorite piece of trivia?
Oh, sure. Sure.
This is just a tiny bit long, but I copied this because I thought it was very, very interesting. So Max von Sydow's father, Marin, was based on a real life Jesuit paleontologist who was named Father Deschardins. And so Sydow's character in old age makeup was meant to bear a physical resemblance to this guy. And his philosophical ideas are in the book. Like this Father Deschardins was the source of this character. And he was also among the real life discoverers of Peking man fossils, and his philosophical ideas, which were controversial within the church and considered to be even heretical, have been quoted later by popes. There are actual popes. Pope Benedict and Pope Francis both have said they thought that this real life priest was on the right track.
Really?
And yeah. And so he, like there was like some came full circle. This thing, like in the Catholic Church, when this movie was coming out, the character was reviled, and then the Catholic Church itself later came around and was like,
the movie did pretty good. Maybe we should change our minds. What do you think? Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
I could see that, and that annoys me. I hate that. It does, because it's just, again, it's the mixing of these cultures for people want to scare each other. I freaking hate it.
Yeah, there's trivia about the Catholic Church going into parishes and telling the parishioners you're not allowed to see this movie.
Yeah,
and you could put some scrutiny on that. I think. I
think it depends on where you were. There, I'm sure there was some of that. I'm sure it's overblown though. Like, whatever. You know how you got a bunch of you get a bunch of teenagers to see a movie that's supposedly forbidden. You tell them it's forbidden, and then they go.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Don't go see this.
It worked every time. Why did I see RoboCop when I did? Forbidden. Why did I see I can't think of it. Porky's. Forbidden. Right?
Yeah, Aliens for me was forbidden.
No, what?
Same. Aliens as well.
No one specifically said it's forbidden with Porky's for me, but I knew.
It was implied. Yeah.
Yeah.
You knew that you know where that shower hole was looking, and you know there was somebody in there.
Yeah.
You knew what was up.
Oh, I shouldn't be watching this. No one's told me not to, but
yeah,
I should not.
Also, my memory was that she barfed on Von Sydow and not the other dude with the green. But but then she horked like a yellow booger in Von Sydow's eyes.
Oh yeah,
that was gross. Didn't see that coming.
She was a mucus making machine. So I was curious about that. I was like, I was looking way too deep, thinking about the biles and the humor. I was thinking about all kinds of stuff. I'm like, shut up, Brian. Just watch the movie.
Yeah, just watch the movie and enjoy. Yeah, what's wrong with you? Yeah, it's gross though, and it didn't make my list of what grossed me out the most. Because actually, did I do anything? Let me see if I did. Oh, I did.
It was such a.
Okay, give me your guess. You know what? Let's do it.
Gross.
What do you, Brian, guess, and then other Brian guess, and we'll guess.
It's all the. I'm sure that ring doesn't get cleaned before everybody kisses the ring of the cardinal.
Top three, but did not quite crack number one. But you're in there. I hate that, the ring kissing. I hate it for a lot of reasons, but that's one of them. It's just not clean. Dunaway guesses what grossed me out.
That's a good. Oh man, it's so hard. I don't know, because the lesions are so easy to say. Oh, it's got to be the cuts and stuff, and the oozing and all that stuff.
It's all effects. So
can I have when they put a line into her jugular and the doctor is getting her blood all over his hands?
Yeah, that was gnarly. I didn't like that either. That's top three, top four, maybe.
Is it the desert booze?
Nope,
he's
no,
getting,
no desert booze.
Desert booze.
That didn't gross me out because who knows what's in there. I'll just tell you, it's just her peeing on the floor. It's all implied. It's probably not. They didn't ask Linda Blair to really pee on the floor, but man, something about that moment and all those people in there, they're dressed to the nines, staring at this poor girl who can't help but be there and pee on their floor. I felt
so sorry for the maid. She's on her hands and knees.
yeah.
Right?
She goes, "Is it coming out?" She goes,
Is it
"I
coming
think
up?
it is coming out. I think so. I'm not
Yeah,
sure."
I mean, how do you tell? It's not like it stains it. It's not like, you know, is she going to keep smelling it to see if she smells pee over the
Wait, let me
Clorox or
see.
whatever
Let me.
she's using?
Yes, it's still there. It's
Still
more
there.
scrubbing. And where's Carl?
Yeah, where's
Carl?
Where's Carl the Nazi?
He's up in the attic. More traps.
Yeah, so I just, there are worse things, but peeing on the combination of the context around her peeing on the floor really that bothered me. I didn't like any of that.
Yeah.
It's not just about the pee.
She got a bubble bath out of it though, so that's something.
That is something. You're right. It would be the last bath she'd see for a while.
Yeah.
And things would get real gross before she would ever get a bath again. I'm kind of with Ibbot though. Like you really do have to park your brain to think that after these possessions, and they even did it a little bit with what's her name in The Conjuring, Lily Taylor.
Yeah.
Where her face changed, like her features changed.
Yeah. She's all cleaned up and looks just fine afterwards.
Yeah. I guess we're supposed to just assume, well, that's just how that would work. But it seems like you would be left in a bit of a medical mess if this happened to you and if this was real.
Yeah.
But it's all bullshit, so who cares? You just make it up. That's what you do. Every time somebody comes to me and says, "Oh no, possessions are real," I'm like, "When? Where? What? Show me one." Well, there's this story, and I have to walk away. I can't talk to these people.
I love you. Take out your taboo buzzer from the board game.
Yeah, just play it right in their face. Shove it up in their face. Oh, dude, I used to love that buzzer. I used to drive my kids crazy with that thing.
Oh yeah, that thing definitely never went back in the box afterwards.
Yeah, no. It becomes a life accessory, not just a board game accessory.
Do you know how joyful it makes me feel to know that that was not just my experience?
Yeah. Not just you, man.
I love
all
that.
dads around the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something about
I
the
should
tone.
get it out, use it for the cat when she scratches on the couch or something.
It's got an amazing tone to it that sets it
does.
apart. Anyway, let's see. What else did I write here? Oh, I wrote here, because this is kind of a joke, but my chick in the bucket was almost Max von Sydow because that guy was barely in this movie. And I only think of him in this movie. So there's the girl, and she's spewing soup, and then there's him, and that's the movie. But when I watch it, I'm like, no, wait a minute. He was here for 5 minutes, gone forever. And 2.5 hours later, he's
screen.
back. Yeah, died.
Yeah.
Like, what? How is he even in 2? What is he doing there? We should find out.
I don't know.
I'm going to find out right now. Let's see if that tells me too. Because if he's back as himself again, like if they revive him, no sale.
Right.
He comes back as a force ghost.
As a force
He gets
ghost?
to possess somebody now.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. 70 Exorcist 3. Where is it? Oh, shit. 2 is what I'm looking for. Providence. Now I can't find it. Oh, maybe he didn't come back. Well, I've ascribed a thing to him that he didn't do. Never mind.
Right.
He's not in 3.
It could be like 3 could have used previously on The Exorcist. Like, you know how they sometimes in the opening credits give you like the history.
Yeah. Oh, like flashback stuff. Yeah. Like when you see the Conjuring not the Conjuring, but like a Conjuring spinoff, and they always give those 2 main actors, Ed and Cheryl or whatever her name is. They always get credit, even though they're like maybe in the credits.
They may not be in the film at all or something, right? Yeah.
Well,
I mean, even if their picture is on a photo on the dresser, so they guess sometimes they have to give credit. I think because George Clooney never physically appeared in Ocean's 8, but he's in the credits because you see a photo of him, right?
Right. She's supposedly on the phone with him at one point, but you don't hear his side of it or something.
Yeah.
I also, I wrote, I don't think I'm supposed to laugh at the part where he tried to revive the priest when he walked in there and found him dead.
Man, he was doing, that's not how you do CPR, but I appreciate it.
I feel like that was just ensuring he died. It wasn't it wasn't about reviving him.
He listens.
You're
he
dead
listens
now.
he listens to the chest, and he's like, "Oh, I think there's still a heartbeat. I'm going to put a stop to that."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to pound this with all my might, and he will not come back after that.
Work. No. You should just throw him down the steps.
And
Yeah,
then,
right.
And then that shot, those shots of him falling down the steps, very effective. Like extremely scary and violent.
The crunching and stuff. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, all that
Found
stuff.
it.
Well, you found it.
He was Sydal was in 2. He comes back as an overlay during an interview.
An overlay. Oh, like on a TV somewhere in a room. Okay.
No, he's like a transparency. Apparently, I guess he is either, I don't know, supposed to be
he is Force Ghost, basically.
Individual.
Yeah.
He is a Force Ghost. Like I said, he's a Force Ghost. Yeah.
What the frick? Is that real?
Yeah, go to like 2 minutes.
That sounds awful.
Like around 2 minutes. That clip I posted in there, if you go to about 2 minutes, you'll see they're doing a electric shock therapy kind of thing.
I don't see. I just have Just Watch. Is it the trailer I'm looking for?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I sent that. Yeah, you're watching Exorcist 2, The Heretic. No, that's the next one.
Oh, all I have is just a Just Watch
I just
link.
posted in the wrong. I guess my Sunday race day people are probably questioning why I sent that. Here you go. I'm gonna post it in the right chat room
there it
this
is.
time.
There it is. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
there
just
you
gonna
go.
see if I can see this.
Yeah.
All right. So he's about how far in? Did you say?
About 2 minutes and 5 seconds or so.
All right.
Around there.
Let's see. I'll even play some
kind of-
audio here.
He phases in and out.
So we'll start at 157. Here we go.
That must be the mom. Yeah.
Wait, we need some audio. Oh, it's overlaid on top of his.
Yeah, Linda Blair is there as both of herselves.
Did he come back as to film this? Like, weird.
It's hard to say.
It looks like he might. Oh, this looks terrible, dude.
I love it.
We have to watch this.
Yeah, it looks like we
grabbing the
do.
heart out.
Yeah.
Kalima pulling the heart out of there. Yeah, love it.
This is some bullshit. We got to watch that.
Yep.
You got it.
Well, there he is.
I've already got
Dead
next.
Ghost. Oh, they're showing how he died. They're actually showing how he died, how he got the heart attack. Oh,
really?
Yeah, story resolution. She did it. She reached into his chest and stopped his heart. Oh.
It's like, Mr. Sydal, can you come here after lunch for just 10 minutes? We need to film a little bit
10
of
minutes. We
something.
just need 10 minutes.
I will do that.
Have you heard of a Force Ghost? No. Too soon?
Oh, that's amazing. All right. Suddenly 2 is on my radar. I kind of want to see how bad that is. All right. You guys got anything else before we head to Clip Town?
Oh, God.
I just transfixed by this trailer. Okay, close it up, turning it off.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just want to say
so bad.
again, we could spend 10 hours going over all of the trivia and the oral history of the making of this movie. And I don't feel like it really deserves it. I mean, it's good. I'm glad we watched it. I was entertained. I will see it again sometime 10 years from now. But it is just obscene how much people have written and said about this movie.
Yeah, it has a reputation that far precedes its actual status, I think. Like, I think it's really well made, especially for the time. Totally holds up, ages well. All those things are true. But I've seen movies that scare me way more than this. Like, freaking Hereditary scares me more than this. Still, Midsummer scared me more than this, or maybe at least more uncomfortable than this did. So I don't know that it deserves. It's like it's one of the scary. Maybe you could say it has a place in history as one of the scariest movies ever.
Absolutely. A place in history for what was to come.
Yeah, I think so. And I think a lot of stuff came. You were talking before about the not director's cut, but the bonus edition, deluxe edition has her crawling around on all fours backwards and stuff like a spider. Even though that's not in the theatrical, enough people have seen that. I've seen that redone now in like 20 horror movies.
Yeah, right. And and after watching, like I had it on in the background when we were talking about it, pulled it up and just watched the video because I also posted the reflection of Pazuzu in the stove. But it's a little.
Glad they cut it.
Yeah, you know what? Seeing it now, it is terrible because she's clearly on wires. There are some points that her arms and legs don't even make contact with the stairs, and then seeing the tongue thing again at the end is like, okay, yeah, maybe it's good that they cut that.
It mentally changes my attitude about this isolation that she's involved in.
That she's always in the room. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this takes her out of that. And like, oh, is she just walking around now? Okay. What's the deal?
Yeah.
Oh, that flash of the demon face is kind of effective, though.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
That gave me the willies.
Although the makeup now kind of reminds me of when Billy Zabka is chasing Daniel San in Karate Kid, and they're all painted up to look like skulls.
Because skeletons.
Yeah, they look like a Warriors theme gang in that movie.
Yeah.
Right.
That's amazing. All right. Well, let's drive this truck into the clip town. All right. That's a transition for you. Let's get some clips going. So I've got a number of them here. We're going to begin with this one, which is some music that still holds up. This is as famous, I think, or maybe even more famous than even like the Michael Myers theme. And it's very similar, actually. So clearly from the same era. But here you go. I guess it's similar because it's piano, but
Yeah.
see, that still gets under my skin.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's Mike Oldfield, and my mom actually had this album, and it freaked me out. It's
I guess
basically
so.
one song on side A, one song on side B that takes up the entire side, like a 24-minute song on each side. And the side this song, I mean, you only hear obviously a fraction of it in the movie, but it goes into some even darker places that freaked me out. So
Really?
I mean, if you like that, go into your streaming service of choice and listen to.
I'm glad
Side
you
A.
brought it up because I wrote down, why is there only 30 seconds of this incredible music in this movie? They use it twice. It's barely there.
Yeah.
Where is the music? I need the music.
I mean,
for this movie.
I guess I expected more. I also appreciate the movie doesn't use, like during the possession stuff, they
overdo it.
keep it quiet in there, and that makes it scarier. And so I think that's a real tool. But yeah, it's an amazing score.
I mean, a majority of the movie doesn't have any backing music to it, which is really surprising.
And that in itself is so disconcerting. It's just when you get
I love the pacing.
Yeah.
I love the airing. This movie just takes time to breathe. It's like, you know
Agreed.
what?
Yeah.
We're gonna breathe.
Yep, we're breathing. Everybody breathe.
We're breathing. Deal with
Here's
it.
bursting at the seams.
Ha!
Here you go.
Oh, circuit's my ass. He doesn't give a shit.
Whoa, circuit's my ass.
Doesn't give a
Wow.
shit.
Yeah, she's talking about
Carl.
Number 5 is alive. always yelling for Carl. All right, 2 weeks now. What? Oh, 2 weeks in a row we've done film sacks with scary phones. Here's number 2. There you go. Just ringing
It
out of
was
nowhere.
so loud.
Yeah, it was
Every
so loud.
phone in that house is cranked up to the maximum.
Yeah.
I spent the whole movie camping on top of my remote control. I took the volume up, I took the volume down, I took the volume up. And so many times I was like, they're not going to do anything loud. I'll have the volume up right now. And the phone rang and shook me off the couch.
Yep.
I watched this on my MetaQuest 3.
Did you really? Holy
isolation.
Wow.
I mean, just watch it. It's
I
like
did
flat
not-
screen inside the space. It's not like it's not a 360
Yeah.
degree.
I had the transparency on. Come on. I am definitely looking around me. The pass through was definitely on because there's no way I was not going to see what was coming up.
'cause,
Around me. But yeah.
people could come up and tap you on the shoulder and just make
Brian.
you poop your pants. Exactly. That kind of would be worth it, actually.
Slam your head against the wall, and there goes your Quest 3. I got to get one of those. All right.
I'm also jealous that you have a Quest 3.
I know. Same.
Oh yeah, Meta. Yeah,
I'm seeing
so
some
good.
really cool
Love it.
shit come out of that thing, and I'm bugged. I want to get one now. All right. Something about the bed shaking. You got the shakes?
My bed was shaking.
Yeah. I could have used that for an Ibit prom date thing, but I didn't.
Ah,
I got more. I got one later. Don't worry. But
Don't come a knocking. No, that's not how it goes.
something about a private hospital.
Like what? Private hospital?
Oh, private hospital?
Like what?
Sounds like
Private
you got the
hospital?
Was that a clip from Gilligan's Island or from The Exorcist?
I know, right? If I'd have let it go a little longer, you expect like a laugh track or something. But it was also 80 yard to hell and back. So whatever he was doing, let's see, where is it again?
The whole.
No, that's not it.
Like what? Private hospital?
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like a
Private
real person.
hospital?
Oh,
80 yard from Hogan's Heroes.
Big time.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a Ibit prom date thing I got.
Yay.
This is your date describing her time with you. Okay, so this is her post date saying, "Well, this is what I
she's recapping the date.
exactly." So
Telling
here's
a friend.
all hands on sort of retelling of how it went. Here's how it went.
The whole bed was thumping and rising off the floor and shaking, the whole thing.
with me on it.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Uh-huh.
What are
The
you
whole
doing?
thing?
Yeah. It was the whole thing with me on
The
it.
whole thing. The bed's gonna laugh at you.
It's gonna laugh at you. Oh my gosh, I haven't heard that in a while.
They're all gonna laugh at you.
All right, moving
Wow,
on.
spot on.
Nice quick find on that. By the way.
Yeah, I keep that one
telling you,
handy
man.
because that's a good
Wow.
one. We never want that one to go to waste, just in case. All right, here's a terrible noise. I hate it so much. I'm playing it. Here we go. New doctor, get out of that hospital.
No
Yeah.
kidding.
No,
That
I didn't-
MRI machine from hell. I think that was possessed by Pazuzu too.
Did they still? Was it still a thing in the early 70s that we had the operational theater where we could someone could go and watch through the window? Is that I don't want that.
Those
I
still
do not
exist
ever
now.
Want,
Those are still a thing.
does it?
Oh yeah.
Just
In like
They're
training
absolutely
hospitals, you have the kind where you're sitting up top and you can drop a junior mint into the body. That whole thing.
right. I mean, I'm okay with like other like interns and stuff having a surgical window, but I don't take me in there to watch them operate on my child. There's no way I can handle it.
Oh, I couldn't do it.
There's just no.
No, I wouldn't be able to watch. Put me in the thing, sit me in a chair, pull my phone out. Don't
Yeah.
talk to me for the next hour. Come tell me how she is. That's
Right.
how it'd have to be.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
It'd be well, Dr. Fumblefingers with his little blood tube squirting blood everywhere. That just looked wrong.
Banging on the window. You're doing it wrong.
Scott, for my heart health, do we have any more clips that are like ridiculously loud? I'm trying to brace myself.
Right.
No.
Okay.
I think we're okay.
No,
like this
absolutely
one
not.
here. Well, this one here is about having the shits. So when you have the shits, I related to that
Ooh.
one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
That was nasty. That's not too
That was
scary though.
good.
This one is also not scary. This is we all know this guy. This is that Robert Simons guy from MASH. Here you go.
There haven't been more than 100 authentic cases of so-called split personality, Mrs. McNeil. Now I know the temptation to leap to psychiatry.
He's the one actor that looked nothing like I picture him, but his voice is exactly what I hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a great whisper shit.
Shit.
It's a good one.
That's good whisper shit.
Yeah, it's a good whisper shit. Here's Ellen Burstyn angry acting. All right. Best part of that is that part.
Yeah, the beginning. Yeah.
Weirdest yell in a very long time on the show. Wow. That's
Wow.
something there, right?
And that goes places.
Yeah. And not the places you want to go. It's scary. Let's introduce each other.
Well, then let's introduce ourselves. I'm Damien Karras.
And I'm the devil.
I'm the devil. You hear me?
Start using
Little-
whenever I
you're,
talk to people.
Misrepresenting yourself there, Pazuzu.
Yeah. Pazuzu.
Right.
You bozo. Pazuzu. Whoa. That's that thing again. Sorry.
Yeah.
Still like that.
I don't know what this. I have no idea. I put a clip in here that's two periods and an asterisk. I think I'd mistyped, obviously. So here it is. You know what was really hard is the breathing. That freaks me out. I don't like
Yeah.
the breathing when she's just sitting there asleep,
Marin.
going. Another loud one, Randy. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, preparing you for this one. I literally called this file another loud one. So here it goes. I don't remember the context.
I'm glad. Well, she was upstairs. Marin just arrived. He walked in the front door because the first time I heard him say it,
yep.
first time I heard her say it, it sounded like he said Merlin. I'm like, oh, Merlin's involved. And I was like, oh, she's referring to the priest, Marin. And so then when I saw that, I was like, okay, Marin.
That's a funny way to remember that. I like that.
I
Here's
would bet that at some
like
point
Merlin
Max
to me.
von Sydow played Merlin in something.
Yeah, I couldn't figure it
wouldn't
out. I
surprise
was
me.
like, what does that mean? I didn't know. I thought maybe it was just talking to Merlin.
Why does that sound 100% true,
Even
even if it's not? That's 100% true, and we have no confirmation that he played Merlin, but it feels so right.
It feels right, doesn't it?
Yeah.
in
I feel like I feel like you know this, but you don't. You know,
Right.
That's crazy.
Right.
That's such a weird thing. All right, whiny demon. I wrote. That part was pretty good.
Oh, that's hurt so much.
Oh. It's the vibrato that throws me right here.
Holy water.
Oh, I don't like holy water. All right. And then the final bit where you get to hear this a lot of times.
The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you.
And that's just 3.
I think you added a few
I
extras.
think so. I think that's her leg getting cut. Exactly.
Twice. Yeah.
All right.
Again, bring the Gregory brothers out for a dance mix of that.
Oh, yeah, dude. It's already on beat somehow. You just got to add the music.
Yeah.
All right. That's it from your clips. We're now going to do this. Our final Film Sack checklist of Sacktober 2023 goes like this. Let's make all the doctors and experts look stupid. Check. World's loudest X-ray MRI thingy. Check. And finally, using an old desk as an ironing board. Check. That was very
really
weird.
Bothered you?
You're like she's like a rich megastar actor lady with 2 house servants, and she's ironing things on a desk.
Exactly. What makes you think she's ever ironed anything in her life?
True.
She's like, she doesn't even know what to do. The help isn't there because like, I ain't going in there. You seen her daughter?
I was gonna say, the ironing board is up in Reagan's room, and you know what? I'll just use this desk.
Yeah.
There should have been a scene where all of the help are at the bar. Right, because they don't want to be at the house.
I could see that.
And they're just like sitting there
post-credit scene, like like they're getting shawarma.
Yeah,
I love that idea. But then, okay, so if this is the case, then you're telling me that in another time, this mother is putting burger patties in the toaster and making brownies with a light lamp or something, like
whatever it takes, man.
Okay,
whatever it takes.
That's how disconnected she is from housework. She just doesn't know how shit works. I get it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's get to the Star Trek connections. I know at least one. Randy, what are we looking at here?
Yeah, I've got one. And it spans 30 years. If you've seen Armageddon as many times as I have, you are going to remember the throwaway character Carl at the beginning of the movie.
Carl?
He's this like angry old loudmouth amateur astronomer who he discovers the planet killer and he gets to name it, and he names it Dottie after his wife because she's evil. I'm going on because this is the only thing I've got, guys. So
I thought Robert Simmons was in Star Trek.
He is. He's in Star Trek Deep Space Nine as Vadik Porta. He acts in that. So yes, you're right. There didn't
come up in my search. John Mahon is who I'm talking about. He was in this cast. He was the language lab director bit role. He was in Star Trek Enterprise as Admiral Gardner in the 2005 episode In a Mirror Darkly Part 2. The John Mahon here died in May of 2020, and it was very publicly stated that he died of natural causes. So you don't think it was COVID.
Oh, or connected to the Exorcist somehow, because people still think that's true. There's a curse. Rah. The guy who played O'Malley, the other priest, the priest at the end who's doing last rites and stuff, William O'Malley, the character or the actor, lived to be 91 years old, died this year. We talked about it before, in July. But that dude looked, he's the one exception to this rule. I felt like he looked younger than he would have been at this time. He would have been like late 50s or no, mid 50s. And he looks, I don't know, he looks 39 with maybe 2 cigarettes a day. Something like that. All right, moving on. Well done there. Let's do the soundtrack grade. I give it an M for minimal. Just wasn't in there a lot, but it's good when it is. I still think it works. I appreciate that it doesn't though, because I think it adds to the whole mystique of the movie to have less. So to me, it's like what did we do recently? The fight scene in Morocco with Jason Bourne. No music. There's something about that makes that so much more intense. Almost the entirety of No Country for Old Men has zero soundtrack. It just adds so much to that. I'm a big believer that less is more sometimes. So more of that, please.
For sure. Agreed.
Social media posts where you guys sum it up in 280 characters or less, and I believe it's Randy's turn.
The Exorcist. I gape and wonder as I sit upon the brink. A priest can just steal Shivas so that he can drink? So Sure. I don't understand Catholic affairs. Must have been the booze that made him fall down the stairs.
Nah.
That's a good one. Send me that, by the way, so I can put it in the. Patrons get all the poems and Brian's lyrics and all that
My
stuff.
lyrics are so far down or up the Discord now, behind a whole bunch of photos of Pazuzu and Max von Sydow and and vinyl Exorcist albums.
I have to cut those out early to make sure I don't miss them. But if you're a patron, you get all that stuff. So get in there and get that done. All right, let's now say that Brian Dunaway has a turn now.
Okay, The Exorcist, like a demon-headed statue with a snake for a penis in the desert, waving at you like a lucky cat at a Chinese-American restaurant with a fighting dogs as a backdrop. This movie needs to go away. No, faster.
Nicely done. Finally, Brian Ebbett.
The Exorcist. I'll kick you out of that girl so quick it'll make your head spin.
Oh, I like that.
Smart.
Did we mention that the fake barf they used, which was the pea soup? It said, I forgot to read this one. It says,
Screaming green apple Go-Gurt.
Yeah, it really did look like it. It says the vomit Reagan Linda Blair hurls at Father Harris is thick pea soup. Specifically, it is Anderson's brand pea soup. Never heard of it. The crew tried.
Anderson's happy.
Yeah, he's real happy. It says the crew tried Campbell's, but it didn't work the way they didn't like the effect of it. So sorry, Campbell's.
That would be their advertising for years.
Yeah, it would be not good enough for barf, but soup is good food. They would say.
Yeah.
All right, we now move on over to these. Ooh, I know what I want to do. Alternate titles. These are just handed to me. Look at this on paper and everything. This was almost called the Von Sydow sandwich because he barely was in the top and the bottom there, or the puke that eats like a meal.
You almost became a Max von Sydow sandwich.
It almost happened. All right, here's a quick email from Keaton, who wrote in, filmsack@gmail.com. He says, hey, Filmsack gang, just wanted to shoot you a quick message because you haven't sacked Crimson Tide, ?
Oh.
I recently had to watch it for a class I was in and thought, how perfect. I can do classwork and then have fun with the Filmsack episode. Only to be devastated that I couldn't find the episode in question. I truly thought quicksack.li was broken because there's no way you haven't done Crimson Tide. Please tell me I'm wrong. Thanks, Keaton. Keaton, you're not wrong, but we need to do it. Let's get it in. Let's get her in.
Yeah.
I
put
love
it in like a demon in Linda Blair.
That's
Just
right.
Put it in.
I love that movie. Never one of my favorite Bruckheimer era things. It's an early one too. And Gene Hackman, Denzel Washington are amazing, but there's also some side characters that would go on to be big stuff later, like the dude from Lord of the Rings. Can't think of his name. Who's the ranger?
Viggo Mortensen.
Viggo Mortensen. He runs the missile thing in the basement of the ship and all this kind of stuff. It's so good.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, who's that dude? Who's the psychiatric patient from The Sopranos?
Oh, James Gandolfini.
Thank you.
I can't believe that's how you described him. Not the star of The Sopranos.
Hilarious. Not that was thinking. Well, I mean, is there somebody besides Tony Soprano? Like, what a weird way to describe him. Like,
I was just following on the Ranger from Lord of the Rings.
That's fair. That's fair.
Who's the guy that dresses up in the nun costume from Pee-wee's Big Adventure?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the guy.
I love that. I love that buried on this cast list for Crimson Tide is Ricky Schroeder.
Whoa! What?
Oh, really? The Ricky Schroeder?
The Ricky Schroeder.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
Rick Schroeder, please.
Yeah, we
hasn't been
now.
Ricky Schroeder since he was 16.
Yeah. Somebody was asking me the other day why he's gone so Scott Baio these days, and I think I know the answer.
Oh yeah, yes he has. Yeah.
I have a theory. I think it's because he was in The Champ, which they filmed at a rival high school of mine in the early 80s, and he did it with John Voight, and John Voight's completely wacko. So I think they, there was a moment there where maybe they transferred a little bit of dumb, and now he's got some of that in him still.
Transferred some dumb.
Yeah. So
This is what I know about Rick Schroeder.
Yeah.
Nothing.
You don't know a thing about Rick Schroeder?
What about the silver spoons? Come on, you know
This
that.
is what okay. I don't know anything. This is how I know Scott Baio. I don't know anything past Charles in Charge, and then Rick Schroeder. I don't know anything past Silver Spoons. And if he said anything in the public light, I don't follow him. I don't even know what either.
Well, you're lucky then, because he's a kind of a Nimrod.
Not
now.
lucky. I'm choice.
Your choice.
I see.
My
Okay.
choice.
You're choicey is what you are.
My
Look, I liked
choices,
him.
I don't follow people.
His brief stint on NYPD Blue, pretty good, and also on 24, I thought he was pretty good. So
was that the one where he showed his butt? Not 24.
No, NYPD Blue butt showing was everybody except for maybe him. I think everyone else had a butt shot though.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, Sipowicz had butt shots, multiple. John, what's his name, had butt shots. Everybody had butt shots and boob shots for some of the ladies.
Yeah,
and
just a reminder if you want to have a healthier. Just a reminder if you want to have a healthier mental life, don't follow celebrities on any social media. Just saying, just don't. Just
or don't use social media.
Except for Richard Marx. For whatever reason, Richard Marx is great on social media.
Yeah, he's all right. He'll be great until
I don't know if the trade-off would be worth it, but okay.
Well, till you're ready, he'll be right there waiting for you.
Yeah, right. There you go.
Thank you for that.
Now, I also got from someone named Derek G a text at 801-471-0462, and it's a kind of a long one. It says, says Happy Sacktober, Sackers. Derek G here. Sounds like a rapper.
Derek G.
Derek G. Yo.
Derek Jeter.
Oh, Jeter. Yeah, good point. Maybe this is him. He says, during the month's episodes, meaning this month's episodes, there have been several references and discussions about how certain situations or scary movies had an impact on you as a child. Today would be no different. On the most recent episode, I believe Scott mentioned the way light bounced off a certain toy in his bedroom that creeped him out. This has given me the strength to now tell my own experience, and here is my story. Here's what he says. It was on my 12th birthday. And one of my birthday gifts was being able to stay up later than normal and watch some scary movies. The selection wasn't exactly a movie, but a miniseries called Storm of the Century. Suffice it to say, I don't remember that at all. That's new to me. Suffice it to say, the bit of me that watched that movie was terrified. I'm not sure what that means. It's written weird. I am not sure if it would ever be scary for me as an adult, but I refuse to watch it because of this experience. Well, that's literally what happened today with The Shining and me, or not The Shining.
The Exorcist.
Yeah. The Shining's up there on the list, though, and it was good for us to watch it here as well.
Yeah, cathartic there, too.
Same deal. As I lie in bed trying to fall asleep, I glance at my 90s era glow-in-the-dark ceiling stars, and as I look towards the corner of my room, the stars begin to fade out and come back into sight as if something is crawling towards me. Within seconds, whatever it was smashed into my ceiling fan, and I was certain I let out the most pitiful scream that has ever been emitted from my voice. And that my life was about to come to an end. My parents rush into the room to protect me from whatever heinous fiend was haunting their son, only to find out one of my birthday balloons had come untied from the gifts and had drifted onto the roof and was on the ceiling fan, and my life has never been the same since, and I still have anxiety about watching scary movies to this day. Please keep up the amazing work. I cannot thank you enough for the fine hours of entertainment that Scott, Brian, and Randy have given me over the years, says Derek. Amazing story.
Oh, that's great.
That's an amazing story.
And for the rest
most
of the
traumatic experience I ever had was growing up. We lived out in the middle of nowhere, lived next to a pig farm, and I had a window. My window was right next to my bed. I was probably like 5 or 6 again, right around Exorcist time.
Yeah.
And I was sleeping comfortably, oh so comfortably, and then I kind of woke up. Someone just kind of made me wake up, and I looked out, and I could see out the window just this little orange ball, and I was looking at it. I'm like, what is that orange ball? And all of a sudden it got brighter and brighter. And then I saw somebody's face, and I'm like not even a foot away from the edge from the window. Mm-hmm. And just this face just lit up. And I just, oh my God, what the hell? So I turned around, ran out the door. As I was hitting the door, I looked back and I saw the little red ball fall to the ground. And I went and told my dad. And next morning he went outside, and somebody was outside my window smoking. That's what it was. Somebody was watching me sleep and smoking.
Oh God,
man! So you got secondhand smoke and a scare. Woo!
Yeah.
Jeez. So Jesus, yeah. So I don't sleep near the window anymore. I never have since then.
Yeah,
you're done with windows, eh? That's crazy. Yeah. Stuff gets you when you're a kid. It's scary. Mm-hmm. Thank you for your scary emails, everybody. That's awesome. Well, the Crimson Tide wasn't very scary, but
no.
This
Except
other one
when
was.
He said, "You haven't watched Crimson Tide."
Well, now you've haunted us into submission. We're going to get it taken care of. Filmsack@gmail.com and 801-471-01. I did that wrong. 801-471-0462. That's our hotline. You can leave voicemails there as well. Please use it at your leisure. I want to thank some folks over at Patreon like Dwayne Harder, Kevin, and Chris Whedon. These are just 3 of our fantastic patrons who just got a taste of the Randy, a little bonus host show. Yeah.
Taste of the deluxe.
Yeah, a little taste of the deluxe. That happens every month with a different host doing a different host special. You get those on there. You also get no commercials, pre-show content every week as well, and some movie-related art in the mail, which I just sent out. Very Halloween-y this month.
Coming up in a couple of weeks, Scott Johnson, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yay.
Don't know what I'm doing yet. I got to think about
The
it.
Exorcist 2.
Mad Max Fury Road again. I don't know what I'm doing, but it'll be something great. And that's how you sign up and enjoy those things at patreon.com/filmsack. And to everyone else who just listens, that's cool too. We're glad to have you here. Thanks for being here, and we appreciate it. Our next movie will no longer be a Halloween movie. It will be what? What's happening in November, Randy? I don't remember.
So our next episode is probably not going to be a movie, and you'll find out about that next week. Our next movie is scheduled. I'm not guaranteeing this, but it is scheduled to be Richard Linklater's Slacker from 1991.
Oh, all right. Slacker.
We are approaching a big end of month for streaming services. I cannot guarantee we're going to be sacking Slacker in a couple weeks, but that's what's on our schedule.
Plan. Yeah,
we're aimed for it.
It's the only Richard Linklater movie I never saw, so I would be very. Is it his first? So it's his first mainstream thing, right?
It's 91, so feels like it, yes.
Yeah, because we didn't get, it'd be a year or two before we'd get Dazed and Confused, which
right,
is...
Dazed and Confused is 93.
Love that one. Yeah, I think that might be his, I'm trying to find it here. So he's got some small stuff. Yeah. So his first directed, like, in movie theaters movie is Slacker. So it's kind of a historic little piece here. It'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. That'll be next week if all things hold. Okay, so watch for that. In the meantime, filmsack.com is our website. You can always find all the links we've talked about and everything else there. It's just real easy to go there and check it out. Filmsack.com and click away, mother scratchers. Patreon.com/filmsack is our Patreon. Big thanks again to everybody who supports us there. That's going to do it for us, for me, for Brian, and for Randy.
What's my mother's maiden name?
We'll see you next time.
Get more at frogpants.com.
My bed was shaking.
Mm-hmm.